Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jordan Arell, and here's another daily video on circumcision trauma healing. So today I would like to go into something I've kind of went into, experimented with a couple other videos, which is the physical aspect of trauma, or the psycho. I don't know exactly what to call it. It's the sort of psychosomatic image you have of your dick, as well as the physical experience. They're very closely entwined in our minds. Every time that we think about our penis, every time that we have an experience of our penis, every time that in some way or another some experience registers that relates to our dick, or any dick for that matter, there's a connection, there's a web of neurons that are connected to that. And every time we think about it, every time we feel it, that web of neurons is in some way affected and changed. And gradually over time that builds up this mental image we have of dicks in general, and of our dick in particular. And it affects how we actually experience our own cock. It's very interesting to go deep into the neuroscience of it, and would definitely recommend that if you're interested. But for the purposes here, what's really important is to understand how circumcision affects this in particular, because that's a concept that's closely connected, and having foreskin or not having foreskin, having violence sort of enforced upon us, having the sensitivity changes that come with that, all of the other information that you can sort of learn about circumcision, all affects how we experience our own dick and how we see it, how we think about it. As an example, I know that for me, before I knew about circumcision, I loved my dick. It was my favorite part of my body, by a long shot. Like, I really, really liked my dick. Thought it was perfect. Thought it was kind of, the scar on it was kind of weird. I mean, dicks are just kind of weird. I didn't know it was a scar. I just thought, it's interesting. Dicks are just weird. Little did I know that, it's actually a scar, and that actually a lot of the weirdness of dicks actually really comes from the fact that they're mutilated, frankly. And so all of these ideas, this understanding that's come since then, has made it very hard to experience my body as it is. Before, I just thought of my penis as a penis, and I experienced it as it was, and I was happy with it because I didn't know what was missing. I didn't know that it shouldn't be itchy. I didn't know that it should be more sensitive. I didn't know that the head is calloused over. All these things that I didn't understand about it caused me to be able to appreciate it for what it is and enjoy it. And gradually, layer after layer after layer of information I've learned, and every time I think about that, those neurons in my brain fire. I think about my dick a little bit differently, until now when I see it as mutilated. And it's a hard obstacle to overcome, to see your dick in a different way from how you really understand it to be. So the goal here is to sort of all of this building up of this picture of your own cock comes from continuously thinking about circumcision, thinking about how it's affected you, and it kind of happens without your awareness that you're building up this way of experiencing your dick, and learning to have this habitual filter of perception that determines how you feel about your own body and how you feel in your body. So by basically learning to go into that image, go into that feeling of your dick, and the concepts that you have around it, the literal physical experience, the experience of the image that you have in your mind when you think of your dick. All of that can be controlled, can be changed, can be manipulated, and simply by thinking about it, you're already changing it, even if you are just literally bringing the thought of your dick to your mind. That already changes it a little bit, but you can start to change it more deliberately and bring more positive feelings to it, start to deactivate the feelings that are negative about it, that sort of run in this constant pattern of suppression, and then it keeps on sort of coming up at you because you still see it that way. It's just you're trying not to feel it that way, and in a way you give it even more energy as you're trying to not experience your dick as mutilated. And it's like, don't think about a pink elephant. The more you try not to think about it, the more strong it becomes. And so by consciously feeling that feeling, by bringing positive emotions to it, and by feeling the negative ones, deactivating them, seeing that image in your mind, and allowing yourself to start to sort of massage those neurons is one way to think of it. Massaging the knots out of it, so to speak, so that where all of this negative emotion and pain and experience of lack of pleasure comes in, because that's what you expect to feel, by allowing yourself to experience that, you can actually start to let go of it by feeling through it. It's hard to explain, it's you kind of just have to do it. But by feeling into it, by not repressing it, it actually makes it easier to let go of it. Again, because it really just breaks that cycle of suppressing, and then it keeps on coming back because you're suppressing it. So, sorry, that was kind of a long intro trying to explain this concept. But yeah. So, to start today, let's just take a few deep breaths. Alright. And now bring to mind that image you have of your own dick. Notice how you see it as circumcised, how that may even be more prominent than the part of it that's sort of there still, that's normal. The shaft skin is likely still normal to some degrees, but if you bring that image of your penis to your mind, it's very likely you'll notice the scar, notice the drying out, and that often kind of pops out at you if you've experienced circumcision trauma and are upset about this. So allow yourself to get a little bit closer to that image in your mind and really make that more vivid for yourself. And as you're really looking at that image, getting a feel for that image, also feel in your body your dick and what it feels like. And again, notice if the scar or some aspect of circumcision is very prominent to you. allow yourself to just physically feel into that, experience that. Seeing that image, feeling it inside your body. And see if there's any emotional reaction that comes up around that. You can ask yourself simply, how do you feel about your body in this moment? About your penis, about your image of it, about the feeling of it. How does that make you feel? And then just noticing if anything comes up in your stomach or in your chest or in your face. Just largely where emotions are registered. And allow yourself to just feel what you feel about circumcision in this moment. Just be with that feeling. Be with that physical experience in your body. And again, think about that image in your mind. Notice the texture of that image, like I said, the feel of it, if there's any emotional component to that image itself. How does it make you feel when you imagine your penis, or you can also look at your penis as you're doing this. And whatever you're feeling is okay, just open up to that, feel that. Alright, now let's just let that go for a minute. And take a few more deep breaths. And now ask yourself, what is the worst part about this physical experience of your dick? What do you hate most about being circumcised? And the experience of that, of how you see yourself, of how you feel in your body. And actually take now a minute or two to sort of talk to yourself about that. Again, I'd recommend just talking to yourself out loud, though you can also do this in your head or in writing if you like to. But just take a couple minutes and tell yourself about what you really hate about the physical experience of having a circumcised penis. So do that now. And as you're doing this, also see if you can feel that feeling in your body. So as you're telling yourself what you hate about the physical experience of being circumcised, also actually feel that physical experience in your dick. See if you can actually really feel into that as you're saying it. Alright, now let's just take a couple minutes here and just be with the experience of your dick. So, again, this is very simple, but it can take some practice to do it well, because it's kind of like a meditation. It's just bringing your attention back to that experience of your penis, feeling yourself physically feeling your dick itself. Again, if you can't really find that feeling, it can help to hold your pee in, do the action of that muscle of what it would be if you were holding your pee in, and through that you can kind of feel inside of your dick a little bit. And so just really get into the feeling of actually experiencing it. Notice all of the subtle little things you can about the skin. You can also hold it in your hands if you like to as you're doing this. And just feel what it feels like to have the cock that you have right now. And if there's any emotion around that, if there's any pain around that, if there's any negative experience, that's awesome. That's what you should then focus on, and really especially be with that and feel into whatever, even if it's just total numbness, feel into that numbness and experience that, because that's another important thing to work through, especially important. So just take a minute now and feel into your dick. Experience that physically. Again, as you do this, feeling all those emotions that come up, breathing with it. Allow yourself to really feel not just the physical, focus on the physical sensation of your dick, of what it feels like in the shaft, in the skin, in the head, the frenulum or remnant. You can even feel the lack of foreskin if you pay attention to where that should be. Just noticing all of those physical traits and how that makes you feel, and then opening up to that whole experience, really letting yourself feel everything you feel around this, physically and emotionally. If you pay really close attention, sometimes you can even feel the dried outness, the callousness of the head. A lot of different subtle sensations around this that may not be pleasant, but emotional healing comes from facing those unpleasant aspects and really allowing yourself to feel everything you feel about this. So if your attention sort of drifts away at all during this exercise, again, it's as in meditation, it's a practice of just bringing that attention back. And then again, feeling into your dick, noticing what emotions you feel about that, what the physical feeling is, and all the subtle aspects of it. Tensing your dick muscles if you need to get into that feeling more. Or you can also just lightly touch the skin on your fingers to get a sense of what you're feeling into. And just put as much attention as you can there. Really, really feel into it as strongly as possible. Notice if you have very intense attention, you can sort of make that picture much brighter and much clearer in your mind of the actual feeling of your dick in this moment. And then really feeling with the same intensity all of those emotional reactions that you have to that. Again, this is all about experiencing this without judgment. Just feeling it, feeling those emotions, feeling the physical sensations. Complete openness. Just really feeling into your dick. And actually moving towards whatever pain that you feel around this, physically and emotionally. Alright, and finally let's just feel some positive energy towards this. Allow yourself to feel some warmth, to feel some love, to feel some kindness and healing energy move into that pain, into that physical sensation, into the emotions, just everything you've been experiencing today. Let some love flow from your heart into that. You can just imagine, if you want, some light, some colorful or just white light flowing out of your heart, out of your core, into your cock, into your emotional field. And just lightening up, making lighter that feeling, that heavy feeling of how you feel about circumcision. Bringing some sparkliness, some playfulness, some relaxation, some openness into your experience. Just inviting those things in. And feel them physically flowing into your dick, into your body. So that you can actually really experience all of those things getting a little bit brighter. A little bit more easeful. Letting go of the tension. Both the obvious muscle tension and the subtle sort of psychic tension of how you feel around this issue. Tend to hold our fists very tight, metaphorically speaking, on all of our emotions. You can start to relax all of that a little bit and just let some space in for healing to occur. few more deep breaths as you let go of everything from today. Letting all of those physical sensations, all of those emotional sensations, all of that healing sensation, just all melt back together into a space within and around you, into your unconscious, relaxing all of the muscles in your body, in your neck and your face, in your stomach or your anus muscles, often tight, we don't realize it. Shoulders, all of it just loosening up. You can even shake your body a little bit so you totally let go of everything. Alright. So sorry that was a little bit long. Didn't feel like it was the best exercise I've ever done either. But anyways, yeah. That's it for today, guys. As always, thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing it for yourself. Thank you for doing it for me. It helps me to have people actually watch these. And yeah, I'll continue creating more content in the future every day until I create something else that's even better. So yeah, that's it. Peace out. Talk to you tomorrow.